Welcome back to Unstable TV! And you're through to Irish Couple Reacts. And do stay tuned because this happens every week.
So if you're new here, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment and hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of these videos. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you!
Today we were asked to take a look at why did Russia sell Alaska to America? I didn't even know they owned Alaska at one stage, so this should be very interesting.
So thanks so much for the suggestion from everyone in the comments. We do appreciate you guys. So without further ado, let's jump straight into this reaction where Cells and you. Let's go!
In late 1867, Alaska was transferred from the ownership and dominion of the Russian Empire to the United States of America. It was sold for the princely sum of $7.2 million, and for most it's just a footnote.
A few euro there,
The question that should be asked is, why did Russia decide to sell its overseas colony? Furthermore, why did it sell it to the United States and why not, say, Britain or some other colonial power? So the primary reason for the sale of Alaska was Russia's defeat in the Crimean War. The war had done several things. The first was that it had largely bankrupted Russia, which was struggling to repay the debts it had racked up in order to fight the war. The second was that the victories of the Royal Navy over the modernising Russian Navy had made it clear that Russia had a long way to go before it could challenge Britain at sea. As such, it was realised by the Russian leadership that should another war break out, there was little to stop Britain from simply conquering the territory via Canada. So what type of territory was Alaska? For a start, it wasn't called Alaska at the time, but simply Russian America. And for the Russian Empire, it provided several things. First of all was the prestige that came with owning an overseas territory. As for its economic benefits, Alaska was a much more mixed bag, which combined with the cost to protect it, you can see why the sale was seen as necessary. Incidentally, the sale of Russian America was broached by Emperor Alexander II's brother, the Grand Duke Constantine, who wanted to strengthen and liberalise the empire in the wake of the defeat in the Crimean War. It didn't take much to convince the emperor to agree to the sale, but now the question was, to whom? Well, Britain was an obvious contender, given that its North American lands were already attached to Russian America, and they already had the right to navigate its waters and trade with the colony. So why didn't they sell to Britain? Well, Russia and Britain were imperial rivals, and to give Britain a large coastline so close to Russia was potentially dangerous. Also, Britain wasn't interested, since Canada is already huge and Britain had enough access to the Pacific Ocean. Thus, the United States of America was really the only likely candidate for the purchase. Russia had approached the US in the early 1860s concerning the purchase, but they were undergoing this little-known event called the American Civil War and so were a bit busy. After the war was settled and the US had to deal with the issues of Reconstruction, the purchase of Alaska was seen as a useful distraction. The Russian Empire was also keen to keep up the ongoing good relations with the Americans, because as an ally they would be useful. It was agreed in March 1867 between the governments of the US and Russia that Alaska would be bought, but how did they come up with the price? Well, Russia had sent a team of surveyors to look for things like natural resources and to see how good life in Alaska was. And it was determined that Alaska was worth about $10 million. However, the surveyors argued that Alaska shouldn't be sold at all and that the governance of it simply be reformed. The emperor ignored this and both sides negotiated until the sum of $7.2 million was agreed. In October 1867 it was transferred to America and Russia's attention would thereafter be focused to the south and to the west.
First off, a very big shout out to the original content creator. Very well put together. Animation, lovely amount of facts, great historian work done here. Make sure you go check him out, give him a like, subscribe, share, and share him around. So we're hoping you guys learned something from this. I wasn't aware of that. I didn't know this was a triathlon that went on, so this is a big wow factor and a shock factor. So if you have anything further you want to tell us in the comments below, do not hesitate. And what did you think of that, Danielle?
Yeah, again, I had no idea that Alaska was sold. I don't know why I just assumed that the USA owned it the whole time. This is an amazing thing about YouTube though. You can learn so much that you'd never think was possible before. That was a bit random. I did not know Russia America was a thing. And it was sold for 7.2 million. So that's a little bit wild. I wonder how much in today's money that's worth, because I'd say it's probably close to $1 billion at this stage.
Just off the back of what Danielle said there, 7.2 million, how much is that in today's money? We're going to have a look at this ourselves and you guys.
You have to check what year it was in.
Just while Danielle's checking the year. Off the back of that, I honestly did think it was going to be England that was going to buy it originally. And I was curious straight away to the fact because England did own most of the world at that stage. If I'm wrong about that, do correct me down below. But from the history books I've seen over here, that's the case. So let's have a look. 1867, 7.2 million to today's money. From what Google's saying here for 2022, 7.2 million in 1867 is worth, what was that?
That is rough estimate here is 138 million. So I was miles off saying being close to a billion.
So that has been our 2 cents, and we will chop ourselves out of this.
So as always, you are the beautiful people of YouTube, and we have been Unstable TV.
So drop a comment below and let us know what you thought of this reaction video. And if you have any suggestions for us to do, let us know too.
And as always, we will see you in the next one.